all in favor of reappointing
That's right.
Mrs. Rainey as our school board clerk and setting the compensation in keeping with the adopted schedules, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion carries. And Dr. Weston, do you have any recommendations for deputy clerk of the board for the calendar year 2026?
Yes, sir. We would like to also reappoint Hannah Burnett for deputy clerk of the board.
Excellent. Upon the recommendation by Dr. Weston, all in favor of reappointing Hannah Burnett as the deputy board clerk and setting her compensation at $1,200 annual supplement at contract renewal time indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent. And Dr. Weston, do you have any recommendations for a designee to attend meetings of the school board in your absence for the calendar year 2026?
Yes, sir. I would like to recommend Dr. Amanda Clay.
Excellent. Upon the recommendation of Dr. Weston, all in favor of appointing Dr. Amanda Clay as a designee to attend meetings of the school board, should Dr. Weston be absent in the year 2026, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. And Dr. Weston, do you have a recommendation for designees that will sign all documents in your absence for the year 2026?
Yes, sir. I would recommend Dr. Amanda Clay and Elizabeth Rainey as designees to sign all documents in my absence for the calendar year 2026.
Excellent. Upon the recommendation of Dr. Weston, all in favor of appointing Dr. Amanda Clay and Elizabeth Rainey as designees to sign all documents in her absence for the year 2026, indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. In August of 2025, recognizing that persons who hold public office have been given a public trust and that the stewardship of such office demands the highest levels of ethical and moral conduct, any person serving on the Dinwiddie County School Board should adhere to the Code of Conduct. Each member has been given a copy of the Code of Conduct before this meeting and has signed that accordingly. Copies of the Code of Conduct and board meeting dates will be available on the table in the hallway outside of this room at our February board meeting and will be posted on our website and on board docs. Do I hear a motion now to set the 2026 dates and times of the regular school board meetings as we have had them presented to us? Any discussion to be had on that?
I move that we accept it as it's been presented to us.
Second.
All right. Upon the motion of Dr. Pearson and the second by Ms. Benjamin, all in favor of adopting the proposed meeting dates for the calendar year as recommended by the administration indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
One nay. One extension.
That was a one nay. Okay, get that, Ms. Rainey. Excellent. All right. At this time, we want to acknowledge that Mrs. Benjamin has agreed to serve for this year on the Code RVA Regional High School Board for 2026. We thank you, Ms. Benjamin, for agreeing to do that. Also, Ms. Benjamin has agreed to serve on the Maggie Walker Regional High School Board for 2026, and so we thank you for your commitment and for agreeing to do that. Our school board also provides representation on the governing board of the Appomattox Regional Governor's School for the Arts and Technology, and Jason Brown, the second, has agreed to serve on that board this year. We thank you for that, Mr. Brown. And then myself, along with Mrs. Pittman, will continue to serve on the Rwanee Technical Center Advisory Board. And the school board has made the following advisory committee council appointments. And rather than reading all of these, I'm just, they're published and available on board docs, but we've made some advisory committee and council appointments at our annual organizational meeting. And we need to make a motion at this time to approve that list of advisory council members. So what is your pleasure, board?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the list presented.
Excellent.
Second.
Seconded. Okay, upon the motion by Mrs. Pittman and seconded by Ms. Benjamin, all in favor of approving the list for advisory boards as presented indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. So of course, those lists are available here in our paperwork and also published publicly. And we are, of course, required to announce the availability of the school board policy manual annually. We have to do this every year. In addition, our policy manual is posted on our school division's website at www.dinwiddie.k12.va.us. And our manual is updated annually, and the newly adopted policies are posted accordingly. So at this time, our board will now conduct our regular meeting for the month of January 2026. So I believe we have some folks from Sutherland Elementary here.
Yes.
Dr. Weston?
Yes, so I will ask Dr. Walker to come forward and introduce who she's brought with us this evening.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Walker, and I'm the proud principal at Sutherland Elementary. Today, I have the pleasure of presenting to you some of our amazing Scotties. Each student you will hear from will take a moment to share why they are a snowflake. Unique, special, and one of a kind. Their words reflect their individuality, creativity, and heart that make our school such a special place. I would also like to extend a big thank you to Ms. Bartlett and Ms. Claggett for preparing this presentation for you this evening. Thank you for joining us today as we celebrate the differences that make each of our Scotties so unique. At this time, if you'd like to step forward.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Welcome to our school celebration. Today we are learning from someone who loves snow more than any of us, Snowflake Bentley. Snowflake Bentley spent his life studying snowflakes. He discovered something amazing. No two snowflakes are alike. And just like snowflakes, every student at Sutherland is unique, special in our own way. Bentley taught the world that even small things can be amazing and that uniqueness is something to celebrate. Like a snowflake, I have my own pattern. My strengths make me who I am. Our difference make our school stronger. I bring creativity to our community. My name is Jackson Keeter. I bring kindness, I bring courage, I bring curiosity. We are all different and that what makes us beautiful.
snowflakes fall soft and bright, each one different, pure delight. Just like us, both big and small, we're all special, one and all.
Just like snowflakes, we are one of a kind. So Sutherland allows us all to be unique and celebrates our differences. Together we make something beautiful.
She crawled under there. Isn't that pretty?
Yes.
Big one.
So cute.
Can we have a round of applause for this? Of course, it's always one of the highlights of our meetings when the students come. And so thank you to Dr. Walker, Ms. Bartlett, and Ms. Claggett for, but especially thank you to the students. You guys did an awesome job. It's always good to see and hear from you guys. I wonder if any of the board members might have any comments they want to share before we take a brief recess. Anybody? Mr.
Well,
Brown?
I agree with Mr. Walker that it's always the highlight for us. We deal with finances and we deal with discipline and we deal with hiring and sometimes unfortunately firing, but you are the positive end of this process. So thank you so much for sharing with us.
I'm personally excited that my elementary school was the first this year. So it's really exciting for the Sutherland, Snowflake, and Scotty, which is good. So really good presentation. Thank you for all the crafts that you guys put together and the snowflakes as well. So hope you enjoy your, let's see, our next break should be Martin Luther King's Day. Yes.
Yep.
So hope you
Yes.
enjoy your Martin Luther King's Day. That was someone that was very unique and strong in his own way. So
Yes.
kind of like you guys. So definitely enjoy the day, take some time to learn, and come back that following Tuesday ready for the school.
Thank you so much. This is beautiful. This is really, really beautiful. Thank you, students. Thank you, teachers, and the Sutherland School, and the one who led the pledge. Awesome job.
Good job.
And I just want to say that I would like to have a snowflake too.
Oh,
Snowflake. You have a snowflake.
We got an extra.
There you
I'm not gonna take yours, snowflake.
We like to also acknowledge any of the parents and teachers that are here in support of those students. If you would stand at this time so we can recognize you. Any parents or teachers that are here. Thank you again for being here. Of course, you guys are all welcome to stay for the remainder of our open session. It is an open session for a reason, so that you can be here, but we don't want to make you feel trapped if you need to step out. So what we're going to do is take about a 3-minute recess so that if you have homework or sports activities, things like that you need to get to, you can slip out. If you want to take some pictures to share about your experience here, you can do that. So at this time, we're going to take a brief 3-minute recess, and then we'll reconvene shortly thereafter. Call the meeting back to order at this time. And at this time, we're going to go ahead and review our closed session report.
Somebody's wallet.
We need to address the personnel list. Do we have any?
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the personnel list as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the personnel list as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion carries. And of course, we need to address the approval. We had one student matter, I believe, in closed
Yes.
session that we need to address.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we honor the parents' request for religious exemption for student number REL-01/26-1.
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded that we release the student in case number REL-01/26-1, release them from compulsory attendance for religious exemption. All in favor of such indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion carries. And
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the expenditure report as presented.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded that we accept the expenditure report as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And then our minutes from December the 16th.
Mr. Chair, I would move that we approve the minutes of December 16, 2025 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes from the December 16th meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. All right, we have some issues. I believe Mr. Tortorese is coming,
Yes.
Coach.
He's ready.
Just one.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right.
I turned it off. There we go. So the only trip today is the DECA State Leadership Conference. We're looking to send 9 students and 2 advisors to leave Thursday at 10 a.m. February 26th, and they're going to return March 1st to DHS. They're going to travel by 2 vans, the high school van and the school board van, down to going to the Virginia Beach area. And this is for their state conference. They're going Thursday this year. It's a day earlier than normal to participate in the pre-conference activities, the study sessions that are offered. We usually get there. We get there right at the end. We're rushing. We're not able to settle in and get going. So Ms. Grafley would like to go one day earlier this time to participate in all those events. And we're also competing for the first time, participating in the pitch lab portion of the competition. So it's new to both the students and the advisors, and it's just something they would like to get their hands on.
Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions about this field trip? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the field trip for the DECA.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the field trip for the high school DECA program to Virginia Beach. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Coach. And we have some updates to our calendar for the academic year 26-27. I believe we're also going to approve one for 27-28 this time. So, Dr. Clay.
Good afternoon. How is everyone?
Doing good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, so this evening or this afternoon, I am presenting revisions to our 26-27 calendar, as well as the 27-28 calendar. So as always, we have a calendar committee. We began meeting in October to create the new calendar and revisions for 26-27. On that committee, there is, as always, a representative from each school, transportation, and central office. So we ensure we have everyone's voice at the table. We acquire feedback from each staff member, Basically, teachers take it back to their schools, central office staff take it back to other central office staff, so we acquire feedback. We ensure that we're meeting instructional time requirements of the 140 clock hours for credit classes and 990 hours in general. Remember, we have that rule 990 or 180 days. We go with 990 hours. And then also, just a reminder that that Virginia law says that we cannot start more than 14 days earlier than Labor Day. So that's part of the reason for the revision for the 26-27 calendar. So when you look at the drafts in front of you, we'll start with 26-27. Pretty much it's very similar. The only change is we had to move the start date back 1 week. So you can see kind of how the 9 weeks are laid out there with how many days we have in each 9 weeks, each semester. So this calendar has a total of 175 instructional days, 2 of those being half days. So when we calculate hours, we have to keep that in mind, because when we have early release days, we can't count it as a whole day. We're counting 3 hours. So we have to remember that. So that gives us more than enough hours to meet the instructional time, 1,044 hours, which gives us bank hours of 54, which is about 9 days. Which is good, since we've already used 4 days this year and winter hadn't even started when we used those days, right? So again, when you look at that draft, the change that you'll see is instead of beginning school on August 6th, oh, I'm looking at the wrong one, August 17th, we're beginning on August 24th. Now, what that does that no one loves, but it's just what has happened, it does push us into the first week of June. So we will go, Memorial Day is May 31st, so we'll go 2.5 days with students in June, again, just to meet the requirements that we have. But as far as our breaks and things like that, that pretty much all stayed the same. Okay? And then the slides just have the same thing you're looking at, the pictures of the draft. When you look at 27, 28, it's the same number of days, same number of hours, so we do end up with those 54 bank hours, which again is 9 days. We are starting on that calendar, August 23rd is the first day, and just a reminder, we'll keep that staggered start, where on that first day we have pre-K, kindergarten, grade 6, grade 9, and on the next day all students come. Our breaks are the same, a full day, a full week at the week of Thanksgiving, 2 weeks for winter break, a week for spring break. Both calendars still have 2 professional development days. So again, very similar. And even in the 27-28 calendar, you can see we do go a little bit into June, that first week of June. So additional items for consideration, and this is the same as it has been for the past couple of years. New teachers do return 2 days prior. Ms. Spires does an amazing job with our new teachers, just making sure they're getting acclimated and having what they need to start off the year successfully. So we have New Teacher Academy. 10-month teachers return 2 weeks prior to students. We do have IDCPS. We provide time for building-based professional development, common planning. You know, we really want to provide time for teachers to work in their classrooms. That's important, so we're trying to focus on that. There is one flex day during that time. Basically what that means is teachers work with their principal. They can come in one day like in July because teachers love to do that. I know I used to do that, set up their classroom, and then the committee picked that first week that they come back, that Friday, to be the flex day, both years. There are 2, like I said, 2 professional development days built in. The goal there is to provide a half day of professional development and allow staff the rest of that day for planning or curriculum work. So this evening, the recommendation is to approve the revisions to the 26-27 calendar, the 27-28 calendar as presented, and we are in alignment with our surrounding localities, at least for the ones that have put out 26-27. The big breaks are pretty much in alignment. The start date is in alignment. Prince George has put out their 27-28, and we are in alignment with them as well, which is important for our Rwanti students. Any questions?
Is that the light blue color, which is the teacher professional
Yes,
training of those?
that is
the sa-
correct.
Same amount of days?
That is the same amount of days we have done for the past several years. Yes, ma'am. And remember, when you look at August, those first 2 days are only new teachers. Mm-hmm.
And which day did you say was the flex day, the 21st?
So with the 26-27 calendar, it'd be the 14th. That's what the committee picked. With the 27-28 calendar, it'd be the 13th.
What's the rationale?
We did have it for the Monday, and the teachers on the committee just felt like teachers would prefer it to be that Friday.
What I was thinking is, what about the next Friday? That would give you a 4-day weekend.
I mean, we could definitely take that back to them. I mean, that's an easy fix.
I'm just thinking out loud.
Sure.
It's not my choice, but I was just curious about that.
And it may be because on that last Friday, they're really gearing up to get ready for kids to come the following Monday. I'm not sure,
Might be.
but that was what they suggested.
Any other questions or discussion? Given Mrs. Pittman's question, I would ask how you guys want to move forward with this. Do you want to go ahead and vote on this?
You can adjust it later.
We-
She can
so
come
we'll-
back
The
to
flex
it.
day is a very easy, I mean,
And
that's
they-
just
they
kind of
might
something
not
written on
want
the
to. I
side.
just- the committee might not want to. I just was curious, basically.
Sure.
All right. So if there's no one opposed to it, I'll just
We need a motion.
need a motion to just one singular motion to approve both calendars.
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the calendars for academic years 26-27 and 27-28 as presented.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the proposed revisions, right, to the 26-27 calendar and the proposed 27-28 calendar. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Clay. Now we have some secondary course updates.
Good afternoon, and thank you for allowing me to come and share some information with you as it relates to our secondary course offerings. I created the summary there for you, but I also printed the documents that are hyperlinked in the summary.
Carly, if you turn the microphone on, I think we turned it off.
I did not know that. I'm sorry. That's probably better.
Yes.
All right. So as I was saying, it's linked there in the summary, but I printed those documents to make it a little bit easier for you to review as I talk through each of those changes. Because it's not only about the courses that we're offering, but the proposed sequences that we are recommending for students to ensure their success. And so I wanted to highlight in your documents, in your handouts, any of those changes are bright yellow. And then also on the bigger chart that's on the large sheet, they are also highlighted there for you with a key. So I'm going to kind of give you an overview following this summary as it relates to all of those changes that you will see. For English Language Arts, I'll be talking later about the team's recommendation for our new textbook adoption. And so we will be updating our curriculum there. And in social studies, as you well know, that the new standards will be tested this spring. So that is ongoing work, but there are no course additions in those areas. In mathematics, we do have one new course recommendation, but that is to put us in alignment with Virginia's Mathematics Acceleration Initiative. We already had a lot of things put in place at our middle school level, but not a whole lot of things that aligned with that at our high school level. And so with our students taking more dual enrollment classes and striving to earn their associate's degree by combining our Algebra 2 honors with trigonometry, it's a new SCED code that the Department of Education allows you to use to combine those two course contents for our students seeking to accelerate their mathematics pathway. It would streamline that process to kind of free up their schedule for more dual enrollment opportunities. We watched a webinar this morning, and our new science standards, while the tested areas are remaining around the 2018 standards, all of the classes for our Biology 2 and or science too, as well as environmental science, are going to have a lot more structure to them. And so we'll be putting some effort behind the curriculum as it relates to those courses. So no new courses, but new standards and new curriculum to go along with those courses. In world languages, we will be offering Latin 3. We had students start their progression in Latin 1 and 2 through Virtual Virginia this year. And so they can complete their 3-course sequence for the advanced diploma. We'll be offering Latin 3, and the plan is to offer that again through Virtual Virginia since it's a handful of students. This year we also use Virtual Virginia for our high school students taking Spanish 1, but that'll be dependent on the availability of a world languages teacher. We did have some students successfully complete some of their language options through Virtual Virginia over the summer as well. So we will continue to offer summer opportunities for our students, and that extended into our health and physical education where they could take PE online over the summer to, again, free up their schedule. But additionally, for our students interested in PE 9 in person, we piloted it this year and we will officially continue it for next year for exploration classes. So if a student, to give them opportunities to see what our upper level PE classes are like, had exploration classes in weight training, team and recreational sports, and aerobics and dance. And so if you wanted to pick a themed PE instead of just the traditional PE 9, you had that option in our little pilot group this year. And so our 8th graders will have that option when they're selecting their courses. Do I want to take it virtually over the summer? Do I want a themed PE class in 9th grade when I come in the fall? Or do I just want to stick with the traditional PE 9 where I get to explore all the options? The last areas that you will see that are new to our course offerings are in the area of CTE. With all CTE course additions, in order us to use state and federal funding, it's quite a rigorous process. We have to look at the labor market. We have to gauge stakeholder interest and things like that through our advisory board. We have to survey students, and we completed the survey this fall following Industry Day, where students were exposed to a lot of different careers. And now we had over 500 students participate in this survey. And so these were the opportunities, in addition to some of the other AP classes that we also surveyed them for. But the ones that stood out would be to expand in Sports Medicine Athletic Trainer 2. We are planning to offer that the first level of that Sports Medicine 1 this spring, and we have a full course of that. And then for our students interested in the arts, we really didn't have a whole lot of CTE options for them. And so we wanted to be intentional about considering things that maybe were outside of the box and would develop into school-based enterprises. So if you see in the CTE progressions under the area of agriculture, floral design and floriculture would kind of be where we would partner with our art department to engage our fine arts students a little bit differently. And really what we're trying to do is make sure that all of our pathways are leading to intentional experiences. So when you look at the flow chart for the career and technical education, every pathway kind of has a way to get to a hands-on experience, if at all possible. And we really feel that that's very important. Next month, you're going to hear all about our work-based learning experiences and expansions. And so we are planning to also look at in sports medicine. We have the Bon Secours partnership, but potentially with athletic training with our sports teams and things like that. So those are future planning things that we're working on. But like I said, Ms. Clary will be here to kind of update you a lot of that during CTE month next month. And then office administration would be our final recommendation in the area of CTE, again, to make sure that as our students are transitioning to those office aid positions, that they have the skills and necessary pieces in the office administration area to be an asset to our team. Dr. Lathrop is going to be sharing about the Rowani program, but what I'm most excited about and wanted to highlight was the manufacturing engineering pathway. And so we really have needed that in our area. Our advisory team has been asking a lot about that area. So I'm really hoping, while we do have some students that participated in Rowani Opportunity Day, that field trip, we're going to use the academic and career plans in Major Clarity, as well as some of our other classes, to really highlight that this is not only for students that are interested in construction, but maybe if you're interested in programming, maybe if you're interested in some of those other areas. So you'll see on the CTE progression, there's those yellow spots that highlight that this is a new pathway expansion opportunity that students may not traditionally think about. Are there any questions? I know it's a lot of papers and a lot of pieces. In the big course chart, I also highlighted how many dual enrollment classes. I put them in a different color this year. So you can really see how much we've expanded in the area of dual enrollment and concurrent enrollment with our partnership with Brightpoint and with Richard Blank College. So they're the darker green colors on the big chart paper.
I do have one question.
Yes,
As
ma'am.
we adjust and try new things, and do we look? Hopefully, we do. We look back at something we've changed. Is it working?
Yes.
What are the values? What are the things that may not be working?
Yes.
And one that I'm interested in somewhat is when we changed for research and writing, and we made everybody take research and writing.
Yes, so that will be something when we evaluate the curriculum. I know not every student, especially some of our dual enrollment students, have not gone straight into like research and writing because they're also taking college comp.
Yeah.
So I do know from experience that there are some students that have been successful, but that's evaluated on a case-by-case basis. And so what we'll try to do.
I was
Go ahead.
worried about more so is the student who struggles and perhaps would be an inclusion type thing.
Okay.
And we used to have a different course, but that may not have been the right course.
Right.
But I was worried about all of them having to be in the
Right. So
research and
we
writing.
do now have research and writing, but we took the research and writing curriculum since it was more developed than tech writing and made the honors and non-honors version of that to make sure that we scaffold students to support them.
Okay.
So that was curriculum work over the summer.
I had a quick question. So for on the chart that we have pulled up, the black cells, are those ones that we're not offering because we're missing a teacher there? Or
So for Spanish 5, that if we had a student interested, we would probably offer it virtually. We're just not going to. We don't have the numbers to or the staffing to offer it like in person. So if we did have a student interested, we would make a virtual option for that particular student. But traditionally, we've only had 1 to 2 students request like Spanish 5. The other one, culinary 2, again, sometimes they can be occasionally placed in within the culinary 1, but we haven't had enough students for that class to make traditionally. I didn't want to take it completely off the books, but it's not one that we have traditionally had enrollment for the class to make.
Okay. Yeah,
If
the
that
one
makes
I was
sense.
particularly interested in was Spanish 5. You know, if we have students who are taking Spanish 1 their 8th grade year, what are they usually doing like their senior year? Are they just not wanting to move forward with the 5th year? Or?
So it just depends on the student. If they're taking 8th grade in Spanish 1, typically those are our advanced studies students, and a lot of them are pretty tight with their schedule with their dual enrollment classes. And so they might go through Spanish 4, but we traditionally, unless they're planning to major in Spanish or minor in Spanish or go on, after high school, we traditionally have not had many students taking Spanish 5. Not that we couldn't offer it to them, but the other offerings are competing. So they really have to be truly invested in that. And we can still support it. It's just a matter of like what fits best in that student's academic and career plan.
Okay.
Any other questions that I could answer for you?
Do we need to take action on this today?
Yes, sir. I'd like approval of the course recommendations.
All right, so if there are no other questions or discussion to be had, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
I move that we accept the course offerings as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the course offerings for secondary education as presented. Any, are all in favor, say aye. Are there any opposed? Motion is approved.
Thank you. And I'm going to turn it off so the next person. can
Okay,
find out.
so we'll remind the next person.
Madam Clerk, are we aware of any new business?
There is no new business, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Dr. Weston, you have some?
Yes, I'd like to ask Ms. Fleming to come forward to give you an update on both where we are with our current budget as well as what the outlook is look like for next year.
I probably don't need a mic.
But please turn it on. Well, the people at home can't hear you.
Yes.
If you.
Because I tend to be a little loud sometimes. Good afternoon. It is budget season. The first thing I want to talk about is where we are with the 2026 budget and the current year. So our enrollment right now is approximately 100 students below where we based our budget on an ADM of 3,975 students, which is what I said the last couple months. We did actually gain 10 students in December, so that was good. So we'll see what January brings. Maybe that will look better. But that does create an estimated state revenue shortfall of about $1 million. The good news is we are able to absorb that currently with vacant positions. We have quite a few vacant positions. Many of them are filled with long-term subs, but there is a savings in, between the sub and the cost of a contracted teacher. Or they're not all teaching positions either. So we're going to continue to monitor this as the year progresses. The governors, so one thing that did come out of Governor Youngkin's budget, which we call the caboose budget, because that refers to, the last year, the year that we're in, is he did put in for a 2% bonus to be paid in June of this year. And we would receive the state share for that, but the rest of it would be funded locally. We're not sure if this is going to make it through the General Assembly. There was some discussion. Dr. Weston and I were at meetings last Monday and Tuesday where we had legislators, leaders, Department of Ed. We're not sure if this will make it through the General Assembly, but we will see. We haven't calculated what the cost of this would be for us or if we would be able to do it. Many school divisions did indicate that they weren't sure that they would be able to provide this. One of the problems is the General Assembly doesn't adopt a budget until April, May, and then you're supposed to do this, bonus. So we will see. We will monitor that as it goes through. Does anybody have any questions about the current year? Okay, so let's talk about the upcoming year. So we have started the FY27 budget season. Governor Youngkin did release his budget on December the 17th. There is an overall statewide decline in enrollment, which I think, we've all been hearing. This is also the first year of the biennium. So the local composite index is updated every 2 years, which the local composite index is referred to as the county's ability to pay, so to speak. It's the wealth of the county. Ours did increase, which technically means we should have more, the county is doing better than other localities in Virginia. Ours did increase from 0.2978 to 0.3186. The simplest example of this is for every dollar that the state says you must spend, we need to provide 31 cents, and they will provide the balance. So that does mean that we will receive a slight decrease in funding as compared to what we would have received if it did not change or if it went down. It's not a huge increase, but it does have an impact on our budget. His released budget did include full re-benchmarking of all the costs for the biennium, which is good because that I think was pretty healthy cost. It does include the state share of a 2% salary increase. We were hoping to see numbers higher than that, but we'll see if Governor-elect Spanberger comes back with something different, or, additional funding for that, we will see. An increase in early childhood funding to include additional funding for each child, in addition to more slots available to school divisions across the Commonwealth. The VRS rates, the VRS board did propose to lower the VRS rates, so we're hoping the General Assembly will adopt that. The governor's budget did include the decrease in rates, so this will create a savings for us. And then increase in funding available for the School Construction Assistance Program grant, which we have tried to apply for these. But they're taking some of this one-time money that the state has and utilizing it for a one-time cost as opposed to recurring costs. So one of their ways of doing that is for school construction assistance. And they have changed some of the guidelines for that, or they're talking about allowing more flexibility so that, because I don't think they got a big response, in some of the previous applications. So that's it. It really, didn't have a lot in it as far as other than these things. So we will see how that runs through the General Assembly. The board has a budget work session 2 weeks from today, prior to your normal second month meeting. So we will be going over all of this and what it really looks like for Dinwiddie schools, and numbers and scenarios and where we stand with that. But I'll be glad to answer any questions if you have something more detailed now. I'll be glad to.
Can I make a request? It's on my mind right now.
Sure.
And you may not be the right person, but
That's okay.
we're talking about money, and it's a money-related question. Obviously, one of the issues we're dealing with, just like any other school division in the state, is transportation, bus drivers. And we have, over the last couple of years, seen a lot of comps to see how we compare to other counties related to teachers. I'm curious if we could get some information on.
We have already started looking at our transportation scales, and yes.
And then just maybe see if there's any ideas about how we might be able to increase
Yes.
pay for transportation.
Yes. Yes, sir. We have already started looking at all of our scales and running numbers on what it would look like. I mean, a 2% salary increase is not a lot, but we're also fighting, an enrollment challenge. So we'll just see. We've got lots of decisions to make over the next month or so. 2 months, rather, month and a half.
Did the state take a look at the number of slots that they fund, as far as what some we have to pay and some they have to pay? Did they make any adjustments to that?
What do you mean by slots?
SOQ.
SOQ. Oh no, there's been no changes to the SOQ funding.
And that was one of the major things that came up when
JLARC did that huge study on it, but I don't think that anybody has wanted to tackle it because it's going to cost a lot of money, and two, you've got big losers and you've got big winners, and
the big winners don't want to give up their piece of the pie.
Right.
As in Northern Virginia, is that what we're looking at?
Some of the more. Well, the wealthier counties don't receive much state funding.
They don't rely on state.
They don't rely on
like we
state
do.
funding, really. I mean, anything that happens at the state level that provides more funding is a bonus for them.
Their locality takes care of it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
So that's a big piece for us, because every time they suggest 2%.
Right, it's only on the SOQ funded position.
We have to come up with local money, which.
Yeah, so it's not every position, and I mean we don't allocate. Mr. Brown, you're paid out of a SOQ position, and Ms. Pittman, you're not. I mean, we don't do that, and nor would we ever want to. I mean, that's not exactly fair and equitable. We did hear that as far as the state goes, Virginia's we're in a good spot. I mean, the economy is good.
That for the last couple of years.
Yeah, we have money. They did say that Health and Human Services got the most new money out of the budget, and education was second. That includes higher education too, though. But Medicaid expansion apparently is going to take a huge chunk of any one-time funds that we have, because I guess the predictions for that were not did not come together like they thought. So that whatever the cost for that is exorbitant. So they're going to have to fund that first. So we'll see.
We did meet with the Region 1 superintendents today. One of the things we talked about was compensation, because we do try to also be aligned with that. However, today was not one of those days. So we heard anything from a 3% increase to a 10% increase for staff, which would be very problematic because we're all competing for the same people. This is a starting point for a lot of the districts. We also did hear that the Virginia Education Association is lobbying for, I believe it was a 6% increase for teachers right now. So, there's just, the numbers are all over the place. And when your budget is 80% people, all of that impacts us because, if whatever the decisions made in the State Department, then we have to figure out a way to fund that. Meaning we have to then go to the county to ask for that support. But if a district gives a 10% increase to teachers, and then we're over here giving the 2%, I mean, where are you going to go? I mean, a lot of younger teachers go where the money is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
Yes. So we will have lots of information to share with you in detail at our budget work session. And if there's anything specific, Mr. Walker, we definitely will have that information. But if there's something else that anyone wants to see or wants us to look at prior to that meeting, please don't hesitate to reach out.
I think the other thing is to realize that, and I know that you read this about the minimum wage keeps rising, and that's also impacting us. And like today, I know one of the school districts said that they're pushing for going to $16 an hour as a starting pay for any of their positions, and so that also would impact us as well. So you talk about bus drivers, you talk about all these other support positions.
Yeah, our bus drivers start above minimum.
I understand
so
that,
we
but I'm
would,
saying for a lot of our positions, we'd have to take that into consideration.
We would, and I understand that is one of the things on Governor Spanberger's proposals is moving to the $15 minimum wage, but of course the state would have to fund their share of all of that too, which would have a huge impact. But that would be very, very costly for us. I'm not saying it shouldn't be where we should be. It most definitely should be. But I mean, funding that could be challenging.
Right. We also don't have, we have not gotten information back from our health insurance yet to see what that.
No, we should have that by the end of January. Is what January 31st is what I heard from our representative last week.
But we'll have anything you want. If there's something specific that you want at that work session, just let us know. We'll make sure we have that there for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. State. The second thing we have is expansion of, Carly's coming back. Hi, Carly. Expansion of high-quality instructional materials for the high school English and language arts.
Yes, so at the way the textbook adoption cycle worked, the high school's adoption cycle actually ends this school year. And so it's kind of when the state pushed forward standards at a different rate than what we were anticipating. We finished out this textbook adoption. We did have 10 teachers participate in the review of 3 different publishers. 7 of those 10 selected HMH as their number 1 choice, and they looked at the alignment to the VDOE standards, the ease of use and navigation, not only in the print materials, but also on the online materials, and then rated their overall preferred. We also selected some student input, and overwhelmingly that was also chosen, with 66 students saying that they would enjoy HMH and only 4 saying that they would not. So it was pretty well accepted, and seems that most teachers and students alike, and the teacher population that reviewed it included not only classroom teachers, but exceptional ed teachers and the literacy specialists. So we had a good cross-section. They particularly liked the EL support for students, as well as the scaffolding for support for students that may need additional support in those areas. So it is more just an update since I did put it out for public comment. We did not receive any survey responses, but that is my recommendation moving forward, and this will put us in alignment with what K-8 has already
Yes.
adopted.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, Carly. The last two, Mr. Walker, would be the ARGS update and Rwani update.
I don't think we've met again since we did last
I
time.
think there was an ARGS meeting.
I didn't think we had one until this week, and then I checked
Okay.
my email just now, and it was on the 8th. So I
Okay.
must have been so excited to be at work that I forgot to.
It's perfectly fine. I will say that I did participate in the meeting with the principal, and some of the things that we talked about as a superintendent's group with her. We did talk about the budget a little bit. We did talk about enrollment. I know that Mr. Garnes is working closely with the team over there about the new kids matriculating into the program. I know that that's a lot of the work that's happening there. And also she is engaging in, I think it's she's looking to do like a program review of the school to see as far as, she's always talked about renovations to the building, but also preserving the historical nature of the building. One of the things would be a cafeteria, a functional cafeteria at some point, so we don't have to get lunches from a vending machine. But she wants to do that, so we did give her some information because a lot of us have been through those kinds of studies, so we did talk about those things. Was there anything else, Mr. Garnes, that came out of, I know you participated in the meeting, was there anything else that you wanted to?
She just talked about some of the upcoming events. If you all go to
A
the
lot of,
website,
this is their event season,
to
yes.
support our students, and then we did take place of adjudication.
Yes.
Saturday, and there's another one. And, we're very excited to see some of our students
Yes.
go through their process.
Yes.
Served as an interviewer, so we're very interested.
Oh, good. Thank you, Mr. Garnes, he was my designee.
Yeah, I was going to add that I'll
Yes.
be interviewing this Saturday. for
Okay,
graduation.
great.
So, yeah, if you know any Dinwiddie students that have applied to the governor's school, definitely wish them luck. If
Yes.
They're interviewing this Saturday.
That's great. That's great.
And Rwani, we don't.
And then Rwanti, we had it was just a very brief meeting.
Well, we haven't had the full board since we met
we
last
have
time, so
not.
it's next week. we
So
can-
just wanted to let you know, we did meet with Dr. Lathrop and the other two finance directors, superintendents. And what we were able to do is kind of roll out some roles and responsibilities to kind of help Dr. Lathrop and Ms. Miller and the work that they're trying to do there, and say, okay, if you're going to be the maintenance, then this is what your work will look like. If you're going to be, if you're going to be finance, this is what your role and responsibility would be. So we were able to lay all of that out, so he feels much, much better about how we're all going to be leaning in to support him. And then he also did give us a preliminary copy of first iteration, I think, of the budget is where he's at this moment. We do meet in a few weeks, so, yes. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Dr. Weston.
Sure.
Madam Clerk, do we have any citizens signed up for comments today?
No one has signed up.
So I know we have someone here that I think intended to, so can we have her sign up now? Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so,
You can, as the chair, you can have her speak.
okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna invite Ms. Woody. I know she came intending to talk.
Yes.
So if you come up, just state your name,
Make
your
sure the
address.
microphone's on.
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Just state your name and your address, and then you have, I think, what is it, 5 or 3 minutes?
3 minutes.
3 minutes, yeah.
I'm not sure, I think that's.
On?
There you go,
There
there you go.
Excuse me, I'm so nervous, but, and I may get emotional, but my name is Wanda Woody. I live on Dabney Mill Road out here, and I have, my younger daughter is 11 years old, and she goes to Southside Elementary School. Before I talk, I do want to let it know, I am not here to attack a school, a person, anything. But I know that it needs to be brought up, so you guys are going to see me at every single meeting that I can come to, and I'm hoping to gather more and more, because a lot commented and spoke up, but I'm not sure if anybody else was here or not, but I'm here. Bullying. Bullying is, it's a big thing. When you have kids that are 9 or 10 calling kids P-U-S-S-Y and bitches and threatening lives and telling people they should kill themselves, that's scary, and I completely understand enrollment and stuff. When kids would rather be homeschooled than go to school and feel scared or feel less. It took me a long time to get where I'm at in life, but I raised my youngest on
good morals, Christian morals. Treat people kind. Do not do anything you wouldn't want done to you. She's loving. She's sharing. She's a good heart. You know, I wish everybody was. And I know some of it is stuff that we can't touch because it comes from home. But I fully believe that if it's important, because I would stand up for your kid, my kid. If it's important enough to enough of us, there's no way we can't implement something in these elementary schools. If it's an officer, like I've used an example, like I used to have a DARE program, something like that, because some of these kids might be bullying because they're bullied at home. Some of them might be missing a parent at home and they don't have an out. So they come and bully to get that out. So to have somebody consistent come and be there for them and talk to them and let them know, hey, this isn't the way to go. You're really hurting people with these words, because if not, we're just going to keep silencing the ones that are getting hurt and pushing away and not doing but so much to the bullies. You know, because I understand if they get talked to or we call parents, but what's going to make them change? You know, because if you call my mom or you do this and nothing's changing, I'm not going to stop doing that because there's really no consequence. And if I can do something to save one life, because I can imagine, you know, God, I feel for the parents who've lost kids behind bullying. And to think if we could care enough as a county and a community to put something in place that might save just one kid, it's well worth it. So I'm hoping just me being here can start something, because it's been talked about and we might address one thing, but that's not fixing the big picture. So, you know, it's going to continue to push the good ones away, because my daughter now is in 5th grade and I've seen, you know, over the past year or so, a definite difference. She comes home crying. She comes home telling me they're just trying to break my spirit. Why are they hurting? Why are they mean? And doesn't understand. So I'm hoping that something can be implemented at the elementary school level, because it might change a kid's heart. It might change how they feel. They might have somebody that shows, I care about you, and that changes things. Because if this happened in an elementary, I can imagine what these kids are going to carry to middle school and high school. So that's what I wanted to bring to you guys today, and I'm hoping maybe we could just get something started, and enough parents show interest, maybe we could get something going for that.
Absolutely.
Thank you for letting me speak.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming tonight, Ms. Woody.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right. Do we have any board members that want to comment at this time? Anybody? Dr. Pierce? Well, we'll just do it all at the same time since we're at that point in the, so if you want to comment on any of the things that have been brought up tonight.
Yeah, I'll do all of my comments at once.
Sure.
So I spoke to Sutherland. I don't think there was much after that. So that's it with those comments. Ms. Woody, definitely thank you for coming out. I know we had our individual conversations. There will be many, many more conversations. And one of the things that I had mentioned to Ms. Woody before she arrived here today, that I've shared with many parents that have reached out to me, grandparents as well, who have talked about someone they know being bullied, is that it's all these individual conversations. And if there was a way that I could pull everyone together who was having individual conversations with me and say, let's work together to get something done, I really do believe that that would change things. That's what I campaigned on when I was running for school board back in 2023. That was my big thing, was talking about bullying, talking about empowering the community. I got behind the scenes, and I am trying to be at peace with all men as best as I can. That's a Christian principle that I abide by. But sometimes feathers have to be ruffled. And so if there's anything that I can do to empower you and empower the families that elected me on that issue of bullying, I will do it, because I want to see things done. And what I told people is I'm one vote amongst 5. So it's really going to take an entire community working together to get things done. And this is an issue that's very near and dear to me as someone who was bullied growing up. Very first public speaking engagement that I had when I was campaigning was speaking on behalf of a middle school student who had taken his own life. Now, whether that was related to bullying or not, I'm not going to have that discussion. But what I will say is that these are very serious issues, and we cannot act like it's outside of Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie's above it. It doesn't happen. I'll say as a former Dinwiddie student that it does happen. And I'll say as a school board member that it does happen here in our county. It continues to happen, and something has to be done by it, done about it. And so I hope that with the new year, things start to get done. I know that there was a proposal that we had put forward. I worked with the chairman now, Pastor Walker, on a proposal to create a anti-bullying task force. And I do greatly appreciate Dr. Weston and school administration for being a listening ear and being very cooperative and being willing to push that forward. And I hope to see that take off. Not only, and I think at that time the focus was maybe a little bit more on high school and middle school simply because of just where statistics are at. But I mean, we don't want bullying in any of our schools. So certainly in our elementary school, you know, we would want to have that groundwork laid as well. And as your daughter transitions into the middle school, hopefully it's with Dinwiddie Public Schools. I would hate to see you have to reorganize your entire life to take care of an issue that was an issue that we were meant to take care of. And so I hope that the anti-bullying task force takes off. Any parents that you know that ever have any concerns, grandparents, even if it's neighbors who know the kids that play basketball in their neighborhood and things like that, tell them to reach out to me, tell them to reach out to their principal, whomever is there to help them, you know, take advantage of that resource. And again, please continue to show up. I wish the meeting time was a little bit more accessible for more parents to come in. I know 4 o'clock maybe isn't the best time for everyone to be here, but you showed up, and I appreciate you making that sacrifice, not only for your daughter, but for the students that go to your daughter's school as well. And I'm giving you my word that more will be done about it. And if not, then that means that I somehow failed, and I don't want to spend the next 2 years with failure. So yes, please let me know how I can help out. And any parents that need help, that talk to you, that say that they need help, please tell them, reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to step up on the front lines and be on the front lines and continue to be on the front lines when they need it. Okay. Thank you.
And I would also like to thank you for coming forward, Ms. Woody. And what we know about bullying, some things have changed about bullying, some things have not changed about bullying as far as over the years that I've spent with public education. But what we know about bullying is that it creeps into all of society, not just schools, creeps into music, TV, the homes, what happens in the neighborhood. So, and the other piece about bullying that we know is that not only do we need to work on overall education with kids about how ridiculous that is, we also need to help children with how to handle themselves when someone is picking at them. So it's a balancing act. I know we talk about it a lot. I don't know if it's there were times when I think it was worse now than it was before, and it kind of, that's a ebb and flow kind of a thing. Sometimes we feel like we're making some progress with what we do at the schools, what positive things we have going on, what rewards, what we teach in health class, what we try to work with schools. We think, okay, we're making a difference, and then an individual will come up and say, and then we know that, hey, we might be making a global difference, but we still got pockets of somebody picking. So it's a very intricate problem, but we still need to work on it. And thank you.
Yes, I ditto to what Ms. Pittman has said about bullying. We know that, as the parents said, that some children don't have the support at home, so they come to school and they want to do that. And we will try, and we're trying to do all that we can to support you and to make sure our children are safe at school. And we'll continue to work on some problems. Just as Ms. Pittman said, it has progressed a little bit since our days, but it was always bullying, and parents have to talk to their children about that. And as for the other programs that went on this evening, early afternoon here with the students from Sutherland, there are good things going on in the school in spite of all of that. And we appreciate the teachers and the students and parents for those things that are good that are going on in our school. And since the new year, I had the opportunity to go to Dinwiddie County High School for the reality store. And then I had a really great time with the students when they spent all their money on entertainment. They had nowhere to live. And then they said they had to eat. So when they got to my table, I said, now what is most important? They said a place to live and some food. I said, okay, it sounds pretty good. So then I said, now you know what your parents go through. So that was quite an experience. So I enjoyed that. And I think I said it to Mrs. Pittman. I said, each student needs to go have that class at some point before they leave school. So don't give up on public education. We're working. If we work together, I think it's Dr. Weston who says we're better together. So whatever the non-positives and the negatives are, we're working on it. We're going to work on it together, and we'll get there. Thank you, Chair.
I think most every comment that's been made, I concur. I'm not sure that I can add anything new to that, but I do appreciate your coming and letting us know your concerns. Thank you.
Student Representative Jake, do you have any comments?
Yeah, I truly commend you, Miss Woody. Thank you for coming out and expressing your concern. Like you said, nothing's gonna happen if people like you don't step up and voice their concerns. So thank you. I don't really have much. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I'm also very excited for Mr. Walker to be the chair. I know he's gonna do a great job. I know he's excited. And then just the start of second semester started today. It's a little bit exciting and a little bit scary for us seniors, but kind of glad for it to be over. And I'm kind of sad that this is coming to an end with my time on as a representative. But thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I would like to just start off by saying I know I might not add much new to what's already been said, but Ms. Woody, I really appreciate you coming out and speaking on the topic of bullying, because even though it is a really big issue, it's not really talked about enough. And I wish there was more parents like you that would come out and talk about the issues that they know their kids are going through. And I can't wait for there to actually be a change, especially in Dinwiddie and all the other counties, especially at such a young age, it's starting very early. It really does suck, and I can't wait for there to be a change.
Yeah. Dr. Weston, do you have any comment?
Yes, I would like to echo that as well. I'll be in touch with you, Ms. Woody. We do have a team of people that are working on that, not only just not to identify new things to do, but there are things that are already happening in our schools, and I think part of it is educating people about that. You did talk about DARE, and that is something we adopted early on. The challenging thing with this year is there have been some reassignments. All of the officers have gone through training and then now some reassignments. And so I think there needs to be, the new officers need to be trained. So, but it was very beneficial having that in our schools. And but we'd love to have you be a part of that team working with us. We do already have some parents on there, so we'd love to have you to be a part of that as well. So I think the closer you can be to that and bring your experiences, but also give your ideas, and then to hear from the principals and all about the work that's happening in the schools and be able to help guide us in that will be great as well. So thank you. For me today, when I was listening to the kids, Jackson said, when he was talking about being a snowflake and what he brought, he said, I bring kindness, courage, and curiosity. And I thought to myself, when he said, I bring kindness, courage, and curiosity, I thought, man, if we all were just to bring that to the world, can you imagine how great this place would be? To be a little more kinder, more courageous, but to operate from a place of curiosity always, right? Less judgment, more curiosity.
That's good.
So that's my final words today.
I just want, I'll say.
I do have one more thing.
Go for it.
I was supposed to do this in December. You know, Mr. Walters, they had the transportation team. They're going to be coming next month to talk to you about all the wonderful things. Transportation's been working very, very hard. I just want to recognize the following individuals, our staff members that went through the training to get their bus driver's license. Ryan Gregory at Dinwiddie High School. Ryan Walker from Southside Elementary School, DJ Martin from Southside Elementary School, Susan Davis from Dinwiddie High School, Tammy Bartlett from Sutherland Elementary School, and Sherry Valverde, the nurse at DMS. She had already taken her exam and passed it for her learner's permit.
Wow.
So all of those individuals got their license to help with the bus situation. And I know we went through like 6 days or more in which there were no late buses. So I just love the fact that we have staff willing to step up and do that. And I think Mr. Walters was there too, so I didn't, he didn't.
I want to say this. There's one word that's been on my mind the last 15, 20 minutes with some of the stuff we've been talking about, and the word is complicated. You know, we deal with a lot of things. within the school district as a school board. And so often those things, in fact, I would say this, in 2 years of serving on the school board, the greatest lesson I've learned is that everything is complicated. Nothing is as simple as you would like it to be. And so, Ms. Woody, I appreciate you coming in. And I'll tell you, when I came, I was naive when I came into this position to believe that it was as simple as we need to fix this, so we're going to do it. And what I've discovered is it's complicated. But with that understanding, we can't make complication an excuse for not addressing the issue. And so I want to echo the sentiments of Mr. Brown that I am also, and I believe everyone here in front of you today is committed to doing as much as we can to address it. But I'll say this, and I would encourage you in this, there is no greater advocate for your child than you. So what you've done here today is probably the best thing you could have done. And I would encourage all parents to advocate for your children. And I believe the key to change in anything is communication. And it's important to understand that there's different ways to communicate, and different situations call for different types of communication. And if there is ever a situation, and any parents that are hearing this through our live stream, if there's ever a situation where you feel like your child is in danger, you feel like your child isn't getting what they need, communicate and start with the teacher. By all means, start with the teacher, but don't stop with the teacher if you don't feel like you got the answers that you need. And there is no one in this school system that I'm aware of that would be upset with you for working your way up the chain as an advocate for your child. But do everything you can. And, sometimes we communicate quietly and privately, and then sometimes situations call for us to communicate a little bit more aggressively and boldly. But I believe as we all begin to communicate with each other about these things, change can and will happen, and I'm committed to that. Now, along that same line, we've talked a lot about a little bit about budget here today, and I want to be clear in this because I think sometimes I'm a preacher, and one of the things we talk about in the church is that so often we isolate scriptures in the Bible and we make doctrine out of isolated scriptures, and when you study those scriptures in context, the doctrine doesn't fit, so to speak. And what happens sometimes at these meetings is we get snippets and we don't know and understand the context. I believe that's one of the reasons that I came into this position so naive, because I only saw snippets. Now, having seen more, I understand how complicated a budget for a school division is. It's not as simple as just saying, well, the teachers deserve to be paid more, so let's give them some money. The money's got to come from somewhere. And so I hope that the teachers who listen to these board meetings understand that, to the best of my knowledge, everyone up here wants to pay our teachers more. But we get a certain amount of money that's allotted to us from the state, and then we ask our locality to help us fund. And then, so what happens is we see that, and without enough context, we think, well, you spent money on that. Why is that as important? Sometimes the money is given to us with an earmark, and we can't legally use it for the teachers, even though we would much rather pay the teachers. So these things are so complicated, but we are committed to doing everything that we can to serve our students and our teachers as best as we can. And I can't, one thing I'll tell you is we won't always agree. And I'll tell you that we won't always be able to produce the results that you want and probably that we want. But what I will tell you from my standpoint is we're committed to doing everything that we can to provide what's best for the children and for the teachers and administrators in our county. We're committed to that. But we need the community. We need advocates like you, Ms. Woody, and other parents. We need to hear from teachers. So I do believe that one of the things that sets Dinwiddie apart is not that we don't have these problems. It's that we have amazing people in this county who will work together, who will come alongside one another and figure it out. And that's why I love Dinwiddie. So thank you again for being here and for voicing your concerns. And one other thing that I want to share before we entertain a motion to adjourn is that I have just learned today there are 8 regions of public school divisions in our state. We're in Region 1, and each region recognized today, I think, a Superintendent of the Year. And Dr. Weston from the Dinwiddie County Public School Division was recognized as the Superintendent of the Year. And so I don't want to just applaud her for receiving that, but I want to applaud her for deserving that. I do believe that she deserves that honor. And so it doesn't stop there. I am asking what we need to do to make sure that she wins the statewide Superintendent of the Year, because I believe she's deserving. So thank you, Dr. Weston, for everything that you do. Thank you to all of you that are here. And at this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn if there's nothing further.
Mr. Chair, I move that we adjourn.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Don't say too much.
Thank you.
Somebody.
People out there listening.